Hello, everybody. I am sensing some tension in the group chat amongst travelers, so I thought I would film this YouTube video instead so that you guys can watch it at your own pacing and in your own time frame that you desire. I'd like to keep the hostility to a low because it makes me extremely anxious. I'm thinking that you guys can watch this and then maybe leave a comment in the comment section down below on your opinions or text in the green group chat. Even though it's hard to look at, that's the one that Ethan Fetterman is in, who has made the choice to not have an iPhone, which we all must respect. I will now begin sharing my screen. Okay, let's begin with the trip plan loose. First of all, the flight. Since all of us are flying, all of you guys are flying in at the same time and arriving at 2:35 a.m. in Bombay. My cousin and I are planning to meet you guys in Bombay for the connecting flight to Goa, which we should all take together. Ethan should also, Ethan Fetterman should also meet us at in Mumbai before this flight that we book, so that all of us can leave to Goa as one big group. With that being said, you'll notice that the flight link that was provided via Skyscanner, the price might have changed since this was booked a few days, or this was planned out and linked a few uh 2 days ago, but it was 66 per person. It's probably around there, and that's round trip. You'll notice that it says 7:25 a.m., which you guys are landing at 2:35 a.m. So 5 hours is quite the gap. Why don't we take an earlier flight, you might wonder? Because last time I flew on Air India, I was delayed by like 7 hours. Air India doesn't have the best reliability reputation, but and okay, I shouldn't say that. They will get you there. Whether they get you there on time or not is, well, they had this whole they had like 4 months where like every flight was late and then a bunch of people complained. So I think now they're better. But it is the cheapest direct flight option that you can find to just one seat here and there. And the food's pretty good, so I like it overall. I'd say I'm an Air India fan. But we must account for the fact that they might be late, which has happened a lot. So, to be safe, 7:25 a.m. is would be the flight from Bombay to Goa, in which my cousin and I would drive from Pune to meet you guys in Bombay by 7 a.m. If five, I'm sure you guys could probably have a grand old time in the airport for like a few hours or maybe take a nap or something. But if it is too difficult, the airport does have a connecting hotel. And if you'd like to stay there, get a bed or sleep, there is like a direct hotel that's connected to the Bombay airport. And you guys could do that for 5 hours, but that's up to you. Then we would fly back on the 5th and land in Pune. Now, the 6th is this giant festival that happens in Pune every single year. It's like honoring the gods, and then you relinquish them into the ocean and dissolve them. Here's a little video of what it looks like. Anyways, oh,
इसको फिर से जल्दबाजी बनानी होगा
Anyways, I don't know if the audio on that worked, but the music was great. So this giant festive, like religious occasion that happens, and Pune is kind of famous for celebrating the largest version. And where and there's the whole streets are covered in this massive parade, and it lasts for like 2 days. And it starts at noon on the 6th this year. So we cannot fly back on the 6th because we will not be able to get to our house because cars can't drive on the streets because it's so crowded. Um, so we would have to get there before noon on the 6th, which is why this flight is arriving to Pune at 1 a.m. ish. We're flying to the Pune airport um, from Goa instead of back to Bombay. And they would land at around midnight. So that way we could get home, sleep, and then wake up relaxed and then watch the whole everything go down. There's we could go on the street, the where my mom grew up. That's kind of like the heart of the epicenter, if you will, of where these parades happen. And um, so we could go over there and watch it. But if you guys don't want to be in the crowd, which you will get touched, not sexually, probably, but like a lot of hands. Like there's just like a billion people like on the streets, so you'll probably it's like a big crowd. And we also would like no phones, nothing. Like people will steal jewelry off of your neck and stuff. So like you're just gonna have to if we want to be a part of like the dancing and stuff, like we totally can go. We just would have to be a little cognizant that this is a large, very probably the largest crowd of people that you will ever be within. Um, or my cousin also has this friend who has a terrace, and he usually goes there and watches it from above. So you see everything. At noon, they do the ceremony where first the elephants walk down the street, and the elephants are like bejeweled and bedazzled and everything, and then these like giant animatronic lights, god figurines get carried, and then there's sword fighting, and there's a bunch of drums, and it's I've never seen it in real life. Um, so I personally would really like to be there, but I also could go every year from here on out. So I don't mind if we stay in Goa for a little bit longer. It's just we would have to make, if you guys want to stay in Goa for a little bit longer and don't really want to be a part of this like whole mess, then we could just stay in Goa till the 7th and then fly back when the whole parades are over. That way we would get 7 days in Goa instead of 5. And then a little bit less time at my house. But if you guys do want to watch this, then we would have to fly back on the 5th before noon on the 6th before the roads get too crowded for us to move. Okay, now for the stay. We would be Goa is this long, long strip type beat. So there's the north, and then there's the south, and then there's some stuff in the middle. So the north is usually where there's like the clubs and all the white people, like all the white eat, pray, love tourists are up there. So I think when we're in the north, we should stay in a hostel because we would probably meet some like pretty interesting weird people. The hostel, it's like $20 per person per night. Uh, I found a couple of these. You guys can like click around and look at, whatever one you think. If you find, I didn't look for hostels. Also, my parents think that you guys don't want like the India experience. Like they want to like, accommodate you guys nicely. So they keep encouraging me to like find these like like I would say expensive Airbnbs that are like these they look pretty nice if you could see these. They're all pretty nice looking. Um, which I keep telling them that you guys really want to feel the country. So I'm okay with staying in a hostel if you guys are. Or we could do a little bit of both. Like we could stay in a hostel in the north, um, while like all the weird white people are there and we meet some cool people, or and then in the south we can like get a villa. But this place, the one that I was that says slumber party next to it, this is because it's a six bed mixed dorm, and you can, if we all booked the same dorm, then we'd all be in the same room except for one of us because there's seven. But maybe we could find one with seven people. Anyways, that one would be 16 per night. Yeah, and then in the south here underneath, I would say we should probably just stay in a villa. Because in the south there's not that many tourists. It's more just like chill vibes. But if you guys like, you guys can add to this doc, like please. My cousin and I only spent a couple hours doing this, so like if you want to find some hostels that you, maybe you see a video that you like or something and you want to throw it in there, we could probably stay at a hostel in the south as well, which I'm also down to spend the least amount of money as possible. I think that would be cool. Food is super cheap. Street food is super cheap. Restaurant food is all right, but I would like, Goa's known for their seafood, which might fuck with you guys' stomachs. So I would start eating dangerous things starting now to just train yourself a little bit. Get on like a scary diet is my recommendation. But street food is probably not going to be that expensive. Restaurant food, we could go for like a couple. We could like ball out. Maybe we'll do like a dinner night, like people do when they go to Mexico with their girls. They do like dinners. Um, we could do that. Anyways, drinks. I don't know how drunk you guys want to be this entire time, but if we just want to get beer, any beer in India is like $1. So that's pretty cheap. I'm sure the cocktails are more expensive, but um I budgeted $10 per person per day, which is like, we're super drunk. Like 10 beers per person per day is what I was thinking. Um, in this accumulated plan. Uh, for activities, woo! So this is like the day-to-day plan that I have. It's very loose, but first day we would be staying in the north. So all of these uh hostels, the Anjuna, that's like where the whole marketplace is. So if we stayed in the hostel there, which I mean, any all of these like options are kind of relatively in the same area, so it doesn't really matter which one we choose. But Anjuna is where there's the flea market, so I'm thinking that the first day we just chill, we walk around and we check out this flea market, and you guys could buy whatever you want there. Day two, this is a surfing class, or it's a class. It's just like a surfing rental place, but there's white people in the photo, so that's good. It's pretty fun. Yeah, so we called them and asked them for their board rentals. They are open in September, and it would be $5 per hour per board, which that's pretty cheap. And then we could also chill that day, and then that night we can go to the clubs. Woo! Okay, then after the next day, I heard from Colton that he was really interested in the history, that he wants to see some historical stuff. If you guys, I don't really know what you are all interested in with travel. I really don't like historical stuff. I kind of like nature and like hikes and stuff. But this place was colonized by the Portuguese, and the Portuguese stayed here long after the British left. So there's still a lot of Portuguese influence. And the language they speak is the language I speak, which is Marathi, but it's like half Portuguese and half Marathi, which is pretty fascinating to listen to. Anyways, that all being said, there's a lot of churches. There's a lot of like weird, like Christian Indian in like combinations. So that's pretty cool. So we found this tour. It's like a old heritage walk, and you guys can like look at these highlights if this is interesting to you. But this Make It Happen tour company is like a pretty good like trusted one. So if you guys see any other Goa like things on this website, we could totally do it I think doing it through them would be a good idea, is what I'm trying to say. Anyways, that's $12 per person. Also, all of these churches, like I said, there's the north, the middle, and then the south. The churches kind of are in the middle. So the on day three, we would spend 2 days in the north, and then on day three, we would travel from the north to the south. And during that travel day, we would probably stop and do this tour for like a couple hours. I don't really know how long that takes, but it probably is not that long. Oh, okay, day four, Humpy. Going off of this historical pursuit of ancient ruins and whatnot. The only person that told me that they're interested in history is Colton. So if you guys aren't, please let me know and I can look at more nature hiking options. It's just that's a little tough with September because it's like right after monsoon goes till August, and September is like right when the rain kind of is slowing down and stops. So a lot of the trails are like closed because of flooding. But I'm sure there's still some that are like available. But day four for like in this tentative plan, we have Humpy, which I've linked this fun, extremely dramatic YouTube video that I watched about what Humpy is, but I'll just look up Humpy Ruins, India. They're like these massive temples, like they're actually insanely big. And it's like a World UNESCO site. And yeah, so we could. This is not in Goa. It's a l little bit south of Goa. So while we're in the south, we could do a day trip to go see these ruins and then come back. Um, but it's kind of a little bit far, but if we are interested, we could totally do that on day four because we don't really have much else to do that day besides chill. Okay, and then day five, we would drive back up because the airport that we want to fly out of is in the north, so we'd have to go down to the south and then back up to the north. So while we're driving back up, there's this spice plantation tour, which I thought was pretty cool. They show you like a bunch of spices on this spice farm, and then they provide you with a free lunch. Well, I guess it's not free because you're paying for the tour, but they show you how everything is grown and then they cook stuff for you with it, which is sounds pretty yummy. Um, and that's $7 for the tour per person. And then we got to make it back to the airport and return the car by 10 p.m. and then flight at 11. Speaking of car by 10 p.m., this is going to be logistically a little bit tricky to get everybody all around Goa because the only person with a license in India is my cousin, and he can't drive, he doesn't have experience driving a really large car. Um, because really large cars can't really, maneuver their way through the crowded streets of India. So he doesn't feel comfortable driving something that fits more than 5 people, which is a bummer because we have 7 people. So either we would have to get a driver and pay for the driver to drive us around all the time, which that would be weird because then we'd be keeping a driver around with us at our beck and call constantly, which isn't a weird concept in India. Like people just have personal drivers. I just don't like feeling like I have that chauffeur, but it is their jobs. But that's just I morally don't enjoy that. But what we could also do is we could when we're traveling from the north to the south and south to the north, we could just book a taxi for those days, and then for the other days, we could do two-wheelers. But for that, all of you guys would have to be comfortable driving a two-wheeler to get around locally to the things that are around, which you probably have never, if you have driven a motorcycle or moped. It's way more difficult in the bustling streets of India with no traffic laws. So that's probably not the best idea either. So we're trying to figure that out logistically, how to get all of us around, which I'll be honest, I offered to take everybody, but I really only thought that like 2 people would say yes, but then everyone said yes, which is super rock on awesome. Um, but it's just going to be a little bit tough to get everybody around. So if anyone has any ideas of how we could do that, that would be awesome. But my cousin and I could probably figure that out in a few days. Um, okay, then when we get back to Pune, once again, leave in the comment section below if you guys would like to see the parade or if you wouldn't. So we could spend a few more days in Goa or we could come back to Pune, but in Pune we could watch the big Visarjan is what it's called. And then Pune is more so known for its forts. So it was ruled by the Mughal Empire for a while, or the Mughal Empire tried to invade, but then the Maratha Empire, um, whose people are Marathi, whose leader was Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj, which you might notice is the name of the airport you're flying into. He is a very, very big person in India, war hero. Some people call him God, and actually, we have the same birthday. So you might even say that I might have some of those traits, if you will. But um, I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, forts. So the way he defeated the Mughal Empire was by building these like massive forts, which the Mughal Empire had like guns or something, and then we just had swords. But the way we killed them all was by pouring boiling hot water on them from these because Pune has like a bunch of hills, so we used like the terrain, like the guerrilla warfare was really strong with our people. So um anyway, so Pune has a bunch of forts. It doesn't really have any ruins or anything like that. So we could go to a fort. It's called Rajgad if you want to look at what that looks like. Um, uh, it's like it's on this mountain. It's pretty sick, and especially when we go, it's like dry and ugly, but when we go, it's gonna be like fresh post monsoon, so everything's gonna be like insanely green. So that's gonna be pretty cool. So we'll do that, I'm thinking, on that day. And then day 8, I don't really know what you want to do, but there's a mountain behind my house. We could go on a hike there. If we wake up early in the morning, there's peacocks. So we could go scout the peacocks. And we could just walk around. I don't know what you guys want to do. It's kind of tricky because Pune, there's not that much to do, which is why it would be cool to spend more time in Goa. But it's also tricky because we don't want to, I don't want to miss like the big parade and everything. So, but I'm okay with missing the big parade if you guys want to spend more time in Goa because there's not that much to do in Pune. But it's also up to you. Like if you guys find stuff that you want to do, please like tell me and then we can totally do that. Anyways, Sinhogod, that's another fort. And then we can do something else that day. Aga Khan Palace is where Gandhi was stationed or took his like where he like did that whole I'm not gonna eat until we have peace thing. I'm pretty sure. I don't actually know. And then Toit is this German bar that my cousin is obsessed with. Um, it's just like a bar, but it's a pretty nice bar. Um, so I put like $20 per person because we'd probably drink if we went there. Um, and then maybe we go to Mumbai for a day if you guys are interested. It's just kind of like going to San Francisco, um, except it's Mumbai. But we could take the local train if you're interested in taking local transportation in India. And then there's I found this other YouTube video about the Kailasa temple, which I found out is in Maharashtra, which I didn't know about. But that's kind of like it's like 6 hours away, so we'd have to like wake up super fucking early, drive there, see it, and then come back. But it's another World Heritage UNESCO site or whatever, and it is the largest monolithic rock structure that has ever been carved in the world. So they took this massive mountain and then carved it into this extremely intricate temple. And a lot of people think that it was like alien activity because it's insane to have done that without any cranes. And it was carved out of one rock instead of built, which is even cooler. Ooh, so we could do that. And then on the 13th, we just have our flight back. Oh, also shopping. In Pune, I like my obviously my family will cover like you guys staying, you guys will stay at my place. Rides, like We have two of our friends drive rickshaws, so we're just gonna keep them stationed at our house. So we will have transportation. We'll just have a rickshaw person taking us around. I also learned recently that people don't know what a rickshaw is, so oh, that's actually not what a rickshaw is. Why doesn't it Google? Okay, sorry. This. So we'll have two of these. They fit three each in the back, so we'll have six. But I think Ethan Fetterman will be flying out of Goa for his trip. So when we get back to Pune, there will only be six of us. So we'll have that as our transportation, which is great. Um, Shopping, I'm not gonna pay for what you guys want to buy there, so that will be on you. But all the food in Pune and the stay, obviously, that's on me and drinks. But if you guys are like you guys want to probably shop or buy clothes or whatever trinkets, things like that. That would be your own money. So, anyways, total per person max. This is 500 because I accounted that we'd be staying in these like super expensive villas that I found, but I don't think we'll be doing that. So, and that's accounting for if we are drinking a lot. Minimum 300. That's still per person for the whole thing if we stayed in hostels in the north and then a villa in the south. But if we stayed in another hostel in the south, then that would probably be less as well. And I think that's all I got. Very loose, tentative. If whatever you are interested in, we could totally do that. I don't really have that much of a preference. Um, please feel free to do research of your own and text in the group chat with the green messages if you have any ideas that you'd like for us to do. Obviously, this is really far out. The only things that we actually need to book for now would be just the hostels that we're staying at and the flight from Bombay to Goa. As for the individual activities, we could lock some of them down if you guys are interested. We can book them now, or if we could just figure that out as we get closer, maybe after finals, when you guys have some more time to look into maybe what you want to do. Okay. Thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you watched it in 2x speed. Sorry for talking so much. I hope you guys all have a great Saturday. Okay. Bye bye.